What's happening, people? This is Dave. How are you doing? This is going to be a case study on how to be more profitable. It's basically what everybody wants to know. How do I make more money? How do I get richer? How do I make my company more streamlined or profitable? I'm going to go over this in some pretty good detail. This is my first case study as far as like completely showing you like what the differences are between certain things I did and which I didn't do. And because the eternal question is, how can I make more money? That's everybody wants to know. And I got real excited when I was making this because as I was going over it just now and creating the slides for this, I was like, man, this is it's crazy. And I'm going to show you how I made money while collecting email addresses. And I didn't just make money from the email, because we all know that email is ultimately how a large portion of online marketing makes money. And it always goes to, you got to get the people in email, because the email people, when you have them in email, they're going to be in your ecosystem. Okay. A lot of people just do one transaction and that's it. But really the long-term money is in email. So when you're collecting for emails, it's important to get the cost really low on collecting those emails. Now, some people are happy with $1. Some people like 50 cents. Some people are happy with $5. It depends on what you're selling. But what if you can get them for free or even get paid while you're collecting those email addresses? And that's what I strive for. And I'm going to show you how I did it with this campaign. So you're going to say, Dave, I don't know, maybe I'm not feeling you. I hear what you're saying, but I'm not listening to what you're putting down or whatever it is. If you can't smell what the rock is cooking, I'm going to show it to you in the numbers here. All right, here we go. So there's three main ways that I can kind of see just straight off the bat to make more money. There's lowering costs. There's increased your ad spend and traffic. And then there's monetize what you already have further. And all three of these are great to work with. I like to do all three of them. There's some of my favorite ones. Lowering costs is probably my least favorite one, because I think you have to spend money to make money, and that's been my experience. Increasing ad spend and traffic is my favorite because it's scaling, although it can be tricky because usually when you scale, the costs go up of your ad spend. So you can't just be like, I'm going to get in front of 18 million people here every day without it costing you more per person. But there's ups and downs to that too. So then you can also monetize what you already have further. And I like this one because you don't spend any money to do it. You're basically just making more money off of what you already have. And this is taking some of my ones that were like kind of a no-win, where it was like a 0-0, even after email. Like if I was losing money on collecting the emails and then I wasn't making all that much with the email marketing necessarily, and where I found other ways to monetize it because it was a large-scale thing. So it really helped my return on investment. Maybe my return on investment was like at 15%, which is about as low as I'm going to go for a campaign. And then I was able to turn it into a 50% return on investment because of a couple extra things. Now it's more advanced, but I'm going to go over these and I'm going to show you what happens and why you always want to collect the email on most campaigns. You test with and without, but I'm going to show you how email is going to be the winner here. And putting my method with the leapfrogging, putting my landing page in front of the advertisers. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's and it kind of is, but I'm going to show you how it works. All right. So how do I make more money? Lowering costs. So you can lower costs by doing better targeting on Facebook. And it might get your acquisition down. You always want to strive for the lowest acquisition you can while making, having good conversions. And you want to, so sometimes spending more on a better targeting will actually get your cost per acquisition down, which means you spend less money to get each email submit or sale. And I usually target the sale, not really necessarily the email. So, because not the people that give me the email first might not necessarily be a sale, but they usually go hand in hand. So, in essence, when you're collecting an email, it's almost like you're a gateway to somebody who's very interested in the offer that's afterwards. You can get new traffic sources, maybe like influencers and things like that. Sometimes those are hit or miss. My courses are not going to go over using influencers and looking for free traffic sources, because you'll spend years sometimes, and 98% of the people just do not make it work. And I know it sounds good when somebody's trying to sell you something, but it's really hard. And I know it does work for a lot of people, and there's great ways to do it. And I know guys that are very successful with doing it, and people that are successful at being the influencers. That's not what I focus on. I kind of like to know more business rooted, where this is going to work and this is what I'm going to get when I pay for it. I know the numbers and I have complete control over it. And then there's time and labor saving software. Not to be an advertisement for ClickFunnels, but man, since I've been using it, I've saved a lot of money and time. I used to have a team of people, like I've mentioned in the other videos. Even when it was offshored and it didn't cost that much money, it was still way more than I paid for ClickFunnels. And I am spitting out these pages now. I swear it's like maybe 10 minutes. And I've got a new lander in site coming up and a new funnel set up, because I've got these different versions I've made, and I just tweak it a little bit and add different pictures, and it's really saving me a lot of time and money. So loving that. So lowering cost is part number one there for that. So, and if you hear anything in the background, that's my dog chewing his bone. I do apologize for that, but I like to do these at night. My dog sits with me at night. So here we are. The eternal question, how can I make more money? There's one, lowering costs. And then two, there's increased ad spend and traffic, which is also called scaling. Scaling up, you spend more and you usually make more. But usually it costs more when you scale, and the return on investment, ROI, which I'll go over in a minute, decreases. So when you scale, if you start something at $5, it's going to be pretty darn cheap on Facebook, say $5 a day. By the time you get to 50, it costs more per acquisition, and your cost to get in front of people costs more. It's just the way scaling works. You have a successful campaign spending $10 a day. Maybe you spend 10 and you're making 30, and you're like, woo! Now, if I just spend $100,000, I make $300,000 a day. Unfortunately, it does not work like that. So the more you go and the larger you go, the less return on investment you're going to get, but you're going to make more money. So the percentage goes down. But you'll make more money in general. Not always. Sometimes there's a point where you don't make any money because you can't scale it, or you have trouble scaling it, or you don't scale it the right way. And there's a number of techniques for that, and that would be an advanced Facebook course. But I'll go over it as much detail as I can. There's 2 or 3 different approaches that I use for scaling, but that's in a different video. For now, I'm going to show you the more profit part. So with scaling and why scaling makes sense, okay, and why you want to scale. More traffic helps you reach a critical mass, i.e., in an example, you have the power to push budgets. In Facebook, the more money you have, the more attention you're going to get, because you can outbid other people when you go into manual bidding instead of doing automated bidding. It's called a bully method, and it works. And just to give the short of that, and I've explained this in another video as well, when you have a larger budget, you can try to fake out Facebook and say, I'm going to spend X amount more than it should be costing me. They don't charge you that full amount, but they will push you in front of anybody else who's looking to get that traffic, which means you're going to get the top bucket, which are the best responding people that Facebook thinks goes to your thing. Now, if you've got like a $5 or $10 or $20 or $50 or even $100 a day budget, they're not going to give you their top-notch traffic. It's just the way it is. They're going to fill you in where the other guys aren't spending, because they're going to try and fill that guy who's spending $30,000 a day. Not saying you're going to spend $30,000 a day and bring in $50,000 in earnings. Totally possible. Know people that do it. It depends on what campaign it is, and I'll do it. I like to hit like doubles is what I try and do. And once in a while, once or twice a year, a home run comes along and it just rolls in, and it's the best thing ever. But I really shoot for doubles is what I shoot for. I try to be like the Tony Gwynn or somebody that just gets on base and then moves a couple bases up. And that's the area where I sit. I sit in the I want to make $500 to $2,000 a day, and depending on each campaign kind of thing. That's what I really shoot for. I find that sometimes when you make that jump into like the $10,000 a day spend, which is awesome for my next point for credit card points. But I like to keep my ROI as high as I can without going too low, because sometimes you'll see traffic goes crazy, maybe during a holiday with Facebook, and you'll lose money if your ROI isn't high enough, and I hate losing money. But that's another story. But the lesson here is these increasing ad spend and traffic will help you make more money. Okay, so the eternal question: how to make more money. Now, when you scale, costs usually go up. So it decreases your profit margin, but you can make more money because of volume. So your ROI equals your net profit divided by your total investment or your ad spend times 100. Okay, so for instance, and I got a note here on all these pages. All numbers are for demonstration purposes only. I've made a lot more than these numbers and also a lot less. Results will vary. Okay, so I'm just using rounded numbers to give you an idea of the explanation of return on investment and things like that. I will show you specific campaign that I ran for this test for the courses to show you how this works in real life and how it does work. But these numbers I'm using here are just, they're just kind of run-of-the-mill oddball numbers here just to show you what it means. So return on investment, if you're not familiar with it, is net profit divided by total investment times 100. So if you bring in $200 on a campaign and you spent $100 on the ad spend, that's $100 of your net profit, right? And then times 100, and that equals, so because the number's 1, right? So is basically it's 100% return on investment. Alrighty, you guys got that? Alrighty. So going forward here, here's more examples and why, even though if you make less return on investment, why it makes sense to scale up higher. So the original one was there was a $200 earning and you spent $100 to get there, which gave you 100% return on investment. I'll do the math right here for you in case you want to freeze this and look at it and you want to learn about return on investment. Now, if you're already a marketer here and you're kind of making a couple $100 a day, $500 a day, $800 a day, and you're trying to figure out how to scale up, and these are things that you need to know. It'll really help you. There's a couple tips in here basically about how to make more money with what you have, and about scaling and about getting the email address that can really help your business. If anybody's out there doing affiliate marketing and you're not doing this, it's showing you how to make probably 400% more money, which makes a big deal. So if you're making 10 grand a month, making 40 grand a month, puts you into a whole new tax bracket. So let's take a look. All right. Then this, you've got an 85% return on investment. You're like, oh, I'm doing worse. But no, you're not, because now instead of making $100, you're making a $275 net profit on this campaign. So you bring in 600, but you had to spend over triple what you spent before to bring in 600. So you're actually spending more to make more, and that's what I like to do. Now, even if the return on investment gets lower, you're still making more money. So for this one, there's a $275 net profit. Would you rather make $100 a day or $275 a day? You're going to spend more, but you're making more, but you're making a smaller percentage of it. And that's how it's going to go with scaling. Now let's jump it up a little further. And once again, these numbers are kind of just out there. Now these could apply to somebody's campaign, and they probably have to one of mine in the past. But then you make the jump up from 600. Now you're like, you know what? I want to make 30 grand a month on this campaign. Now, if you jump up, maybe you make $3,000 gross that you're bringing in, but you had to spend $2 grand to get there. Okay. And that gives you $1,000 net profit, but that equals a 50% return on investment. Now, you're only making half as much return on your money, but wouldn't you rather make $1,000 than $100 a day? I know I would. And that's just the way it works. In general, when you scale, your ROI generally goes down. It doesn't have to. And if you're really good at scaling, it might not. But in general, it does. And that's just the way the yin and yang of life. That's the way things work out. So I've got a $3,000 gross earnings here, but I spent more. So does that make sense, guys? I'm happy with 50%, and I'll show you. I think anything down to maybe 15 or 25%. If I'm collecting the email address, I'm good with that. I'm really good with breaking even. I'm good with losing money collecting email addresses, to tell you the truth. I've had really big campaigns where our ROI, we were negative, but we crushed it on email. And this was we really scaled it. It was a campaign where I was spending like 8 or 10 grand a day, and I was losing money. Not a lot, but like still losing $300, $400, $500 a day collecting the emails. But I was getting about 6,000 emails a day signing up. Okay, so 180,000 emails in a month. That does really well. That's worth a couple grand in email advertising a day alone. So that was worth it for me because I was able to make a couple thousand by losing 500 a day, and I'd still make 3,000 or something like that. So I was good for that campaign, making $2,500 a day or $4,500 a day, depending on how much our traffic was and how much Facebook was charging. During Christmas months and stuff like that, things get a little rough on those squirrely in those campaigns, and so we lowered it a bit. But then in January, February, March, that campaign did really well, and then it did really well in the summer again too, because what we were selling was something that people look more into during certain parts of the year. So those are the ups and downs, and that's something where I had a negative return on investment. But when you did the email portion of it, which is where most people make all their money on internet marketing anyway, it made sense. Now, if you can do this and break even or earn money, you are winning, okay? So the eternal question, how can I make more money? We went over lowering costs, and we talked about increase ad spend and traffic with scaling. You spend more to make more, but it usually costs more, okay? More traffic helps you reach a critical mass. You have more power to push around your budgets and other people that are in your space. That is also good if you once you get into larger numbers. Also, don't forget the credit card points. I know it sounds silly, and I forgot to mention in the last slide, but if you're spending a couple grand a day and you've got a good points card that you're doing this with a Facebook account, you're making money, and you're making extra money on points, and the points really add up. So next time you want to take a trip or something like that, you get free vacations basically added in just for using your credit card on Facebook. It's a business expense, and so you're writing off the expenses anyway. Whatnot. I'm not giving you tax advice, but to have those points at the end of the year or even after a couple months, and when you get larger campaigns going, it's kind of nice because then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I want to fly first class here. It doesn't even cost me to fly first class. I've got these points. Why do I have the points? I was spending a lot on Facebook. Maybe your return on investment's 20% or 15%, but you're spending $5,000 a day on your Facebook campaigns. And I'm just giving you numbers of what to shoot for here. I know that a lot of you guys are like, that sounds crazy to me. I can't imagine spending $150,000 on anything. I haven't made that in 5 years or 6 years. In internet market, that could turn around in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I'm telling you. And if you get to be spending that kind of money on these cards, you get a lot of credit card points, and it's pretty awesome. And so, then you get the nicer room and everything, even though you can now afford it, or maybe you're making a couple $100,000 a year and you're still not, affording that trip to Tahiti, whatever, but you might get enough points to pay for it. Just on the points alone of the advertising. So it's a little bonus that goes in there. So I love doing campaigns with Facebook and other things that I use the credit card on because I get these points. I know it sounds silly and stupid, but I enjoy it. So remember, we're collecting emails. I consider breaking even a win on that. If I can break even, it's a win for me because I'm making all the money on the emails. That's why you got to put the email in front and capture the email. You can do tracking and you collect the email. It helps. It's a win-win. I'm telling you, collect the email. On a straight no email campaign, I always go as low as 50% return on investment. If I'm just doing it straight to a landing page, some offers do work better without collecting an email in front. And I always split test in the beginning for a low amount. When I'm doing my $5 or $10 tests to see what kind of traffic and help Facebook figure out who my customers are, I'll do one that goes straight to the offer. And I'm telling you that it basically costs about the same. And the people that do the email are much better at click-throughs, okay? And it really helps with targeting. So in a fully scaled campaign that goes direct, 15% as low as I go. Like I said, if there's a bad day or I go on vacation for a week and Facebook's CPMs jump up because I forgot it was like Valentine's Day or something, and everybody's advertising flowers, and all of a sudden my stuff costs triple to advertise for those 3 days, and then I lose money, I don't like that. So 15% return on investment is as low I go when I'm going straight ahead. Now, I'm willing to break even or even lose, like I said, on a really big campaign if I've got the emails and I'm monetizing them very well. But we make more money while collecting emails. I'm going to keep saying this just so you guys get the gist of it. So we've already went over lowering costs. We talked about increase ad spend and traffic, and then monetize what you already have further. This one make your money go longer. You already spent the money. Let's make more money off of it, which is awesome. Okay. So collect emails. You'll make most of your money with these lists. Common sense tells you that you will lose conversions if you put the email page or your landing page in front of the offer. You would be wrong. It sounds crazy, but you're going to be wrong on that. So having large lists opens up more possibilities. Okay. There are a lot of different things that you can get out of this by having a large lists, and some of them, and this is for the more advanced people. So if you're humming along and you're making okay money, but you're collecting 2,000, 5,000 emails a day, for you mid-level guys, and you're like, man, but I'm not making enough. Like, there's things that you could do as long as now, and one of them is selling the lists and phone numbers. If you're collecting an email list and a phone number, now the phone number, it is going to cut into conversions, okay, and it's also going to have less people fill it out. But those phone numbers are worth a lot more. So if you could sell an email list with a phone number to somebody in the same range that you're looking for, the same niche, somebody might buy those for $1 or buy them for 50 cents. And so if it's costing you 20 cents to collect these, and you're collecting that in a phone number, you can make an extra, I don't know what your return on investment is, but you can make an extra 50 cents per person that you're collecting. And you're collecting 2,000 people a day, you can make an extra $1,000 a day just on finding the connection to do this. Now, this is more advanced. These are the kind of things you need to make business relationships with. And you also had to have the right terms, with proper permission on your capture page. It has to say, hey, we're going to call you, or we're going to text you, us and our partners. You're going to get emails from our partners, things like that. You have to give the proper legal permission. Now, you speak to your lawyer about that. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to give you the lowdown, but I am saying that you need to have proper permission on your landing pages in order to do that legally. But most pages you run into are it's going to, like, a gambit of everything. Like, we're allowed to do everything we want, basically. And when you sign up, that's usually what happens when you sign the terms and agreements that you never read. So just make sure you've got that together when you're doing it. And with my multiplier technique, that you hope you watch the video, or if you're going to watch the video, each 1,000 emails you capture is probably worth up to 4 times more. Okay, that some of them are. The guys who go in and multiply and sign up for different things, those guys are gonna be worth 4 or 5, 6 times more. And so let's explore that. Let's say you have a list of 10,000 subscribers. Okay. Once again, these are for demonstration purposes. It could be higher, it could be lower. Results are going to vary on this, but these are all hypothetical, but I just want to give you a good example here. A hypothetical example. You have a list of 10,000 subscribers. Let's say that those 10,000, you're mailing them daily, and it's going to make $80 a day. Now, it could be a lot more, it could be less, depending on how the mailing goes. Let's just say $80. It's a good medium number. That's $7,200 over a 3-month period. I'm using a 3-month period because the likelihood somebody's going to stay active on your list, if you're mailing them every day for 90 days, is about 3 months. Okay. And then it starts to wane off after that. You can still sell the data if you've got those terms, by the way. Another way to make money with what you already have. You've mailed it for 3 months, and then somebody will buy your legacy files. Now, they only buy them for 15 cents each, but it's still, if you've got large list amounts, and that's why you really want to scale up as soon as you can. And that's the ability of Facebook that you like. You can go from 0 to hero very quickly, as long as you watch your cash flow. And if you're getting 1,000 people, hell, that's $150, $200 extra a day, $6,000 a month, or whatever that you can make just off of something extra. That's just extra. It's $6,000 a month extra. Maybe $70,000 a year extra just on that one campaign, just because you decided to go find something else to do with that data because somebody else thinks that they can use it. So let's just say, for example, that it's 24 cents a month each subscriber you have makes. Okay, because that's what the math adds up to be 80 now. It doesn't sound a lot, but it adds up. Okay, $80 a day. So adding them to new lists can turn that 24 into 75 cents a month that each person is going to make you a day that you collect. Now, if it costs you 50 cents to get that person, then you're making 25 cents a person per month. And even if just 40% of the participation in joining other lists, it's still worth an extra $2,000 a month for all those subscribers. So you get a list of 10,000, and say 40% of these people join some other lists of yours, because you're going to cross-market to them, is what my technique is. Cross-market to them. These people, it's an auto warranty offer. Well, they might need auto insurance at some point. They might want to learn about auto loans to get a new car. Who knows? Each niche has different things that can go. Maybe they want to refinance their house. You're going to ask them, in an email that it contains what they want, but then you're going to ask them about something else. And it's not really an upsell, it's a cross sell. And that's my multiplier. And a lot of people don't do that. And we're doing affiliate marketing, and it's really not your brand out there. And so if somebody's got a brand and you sign up for like a Coca-Cola newsletter, they're not going to sell your data. But if you're affiliate marketing, it's not that far off for somebody for you to ask somebody if they want to join something else. Okay, so with just 40% participation, it's basically an extra $6,000 over the lifetime of those people that joined, and that's just extra money that you're going to get. Okay, instead of just making whatever it was that you were going to make before, say you collect the 10,000 subscribers, and they'll make $7,200 over 3 months. Let's just say now you're going to make an extra $6,000 over that. So you're almost doubling the amount. Okay, and if they join a third, a fourth list, and they're active, that sixth becomes times 3, and so now all of a sudden you're making like $20,000 over a 3-month period because of 10,000 subscribers. Now, if you're able to get 10,000 subscribers and maybe do that, and this is where the scaling comes in. Just think about how big the money is. Now, if you can get 500 people a day or 1,000 people a day, now you've got 30,000 subscribers a month that you're getting, and these numbers all just tripled. 21. And then that extra 6 is triple. So you're talking $40,000-$50,000 a month. And it's not that crazy. I'm going to show you. I just did a sample. I'm going to show you in a couple more slides of sample when I started. I started this actually months ago, and I didn't even do anything with it because I was just went on to something else because I'm always trying different niches. And then when I was doing these course videos, I looked at this one account because I was doing the Sendlane. I was like, I forgot about this one. This was kind of worthwhile exploring. So lo and behold, I explored it for a couple days, and I'm going to show you what happened on Facebook because it's kind of ridiculous. And I'm actually excited about this campaign right now. Because I'm actually making a decent profit, and I'll also show you how collecting the email actually helped my conversions. So, what I'm saying is to help monetize what you already have. You want to find different ways to make money on it. And one of them is to sell the list to somebody else. And that's more advanced stuff. And that's when you have high numbers. But it's just, it's next away. You bid level guys, you got to look into that. That's the kind of thing you go to Affiliate Summit or LeadsCon, and go make some connections. And if you ever meet up with me there, I can introduce you to these people, to help get you going with that. Or you can just have them join your other list. Use my multiplier technique. It's how to make more money. And a lot of people don't do it. Okay. It doesn't make sense. Like I'm saying, if it's your brand and you do, because people don't necessarily like it all that much if you keep inviting them to something else, but your relationship is basically straight advertising, and advertising with these things. Now, if you're a coach or something, you're going to want to keep those emails and keep them inside and not get them outside of your ecosystem. And you're going to sell them products within your system. So maybe somebody else has like a diet pill or something you're going to sell. Now that's cross-pollinating your list to somebody else's, because guess what happens when they sign up for their like a muscle pill or something, and you're a trainer, they're going to start emailing them now because they signed up on to buy their pill or they had interest in it. So you should do the same thing while you're doing it, which is what I teach with the multiplier effect. All right. Side note, if you have large enough campaigns, you can sell this information, like I was just saying, often for up to 50 cents a record. If you got a phone number, it goes higher than that, and sometimes it goes less depending on what they think the thing. But it's advanced, but keep it in mind, because once you get bigger numbers and your return on investment falls, this is a way to keep it up and keep up your ROI maybe over 100%. All right. So let's recap a little bit here. The internal question, how can I make more money? Because that's what this case study is about. You lower the costs. You increase ad spends and traffic. You monetize what you already have further. But won't putting my page before the campaign ruin it, is what you're going to say. And I've been telling you that's not the case. It usually is not. But everybody says, but, dude, how can you do that without ruining your campaign and the stats? It won't. Nope. Leslie, nope. And let me show you how. Okay, guys? Here's a case study here. This is, what is this? Like, this is one day, okay? I think it was yesterday. So here is the affiliate network stats for this Facebook campaign. Okay, it paid out $324. And here it is right here. This is another one. I'll explain that in a second. It's a smaller one that I only spent $16 on. I think I even said 10. They went over. And this one actually had straight to the offer, didn't have an email capture in it. And this day it was slightly less than this, but look at this. This is the one that has the email. I'm collecting emails on this one. This one is scaled to about $300 a day, up from the 10 that this one is at. And for all intents and purposes, this is the same cost. The 2 cents, it'll vary 10 to 20 cents depending on what day and what time of day you look at this. Okay, the costs are pretty similar here. Okay, they're aimed at the same audiences. This one went straight to the offer. And I've got the pixel on my offer page, like the offer before they click on it. And then this is with an email capture, a couple questions before it. So the people are active. This is where I think happens psychologically. I don't know because I can't really study this. It's not my expertise. But what I think happens is when somebody gets clicking through your stuff on your page and then they give their email address, they're much more likely to convert. And I'll show you in a second what the difference of the conversions is because it's crazy. So this offer costs exactly the same, even though I scaled up. So somehow this costs less for me when these people have the email. So by the time they get through to the offer, collecting the email helps it convert, which is crazy, right? So $324 was earned, spent $285.95 right here on to get this. So it's a $38 profit. Woohoo, made $38, right? But I'm still scaling this. I just started this thing up. And so I just did it as an example for you guys. And I made a profit while collecting 520 emails. So I collected 520 emails and made $38 doing it. Now that's crazy. I made a profit. I get some points on my credit card. Now just times 10 this, all right? So let's pretend that this is 3,000 or $380 and I spent 3,000, right? So it's a low return on investment, but I'm collecting emails. And so if I'd be collecting let's see, so times 10. Yeah, so I mean the 5,000 emails. So this is a winner. This is something I'm going to scale up. This could be a $5,000 to $10,000 a day campaign. 5,000 to 10,000 email captures a day campaign, and I might make money while doing it. Holy moly! And then what am I going to make on the email? Well, I'm just going to guess probably an average of around, I don't know, each guy I collect is probably worth, 30, 50 cents over its lifetime, maybe 75 cents before I multiply it. So let's just say $1 after I multiply it. So just think of the math on that. So I got paid almost 6 cents each time I collected an email. Okay, instead of paying for them. Just let that sink in. I don't know why people don't do this more. Okay, now if the whole affiliate market and you're a complete beginner and all this is just sounding crazy, even though you've watched 1 or 2 videos, and then you watch this case study, because I like to go to the case studies myself too first. You go through the rest of the material and learn what I'm doing here, because it's not that crazy. It's all fundamental affiliate marketing, but I'm doing a couple things different, and I keep it simple. It's not necessarily easy, but I keep it straightforward. It's not simple either, but it's straightforward. And a couple tweaks are going to be the huge difference in how much money you're making. So I'll recap this again. I got a couple more examples here of this. So I made $38. I made 6 cents every time I collected an email address. These customers paid me 6 cents to give me their address. And is ultimately what happened here. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so if you do that times 10, that's awesome. Hell, I make 2 cents. Like I said, I break even because I'm going to make almost all my money, the majority of it, on the emails afterwards. All right. This one, the top campaign in orange, is just straight to the offer. So it was barely cheaper. It's the same price, and it's not even scaled. So if I scaled this up, it would do worse than this, as mathematics would tell me, right? So because I'm spending a great deal more. I'm spending, I don't know what the percentage is on this, but I'm spending a good deal more. This was set at $10, and this was set at $300. They came short on filling it, and they went over on filling this one. that is ridiculous. Now, when I started this, this was like 32 cents or something on the first couple days that I did it at 10 cents. Same ad, similar ad system. And I'll show you something else too, because I did one with a carousel ad. I'm getting ahead of myself, but you got to really pay attention to the media that you're marketing on the Facebook, because it makes a huge difference. Just look at your stats and cut the losers. So, same creatives, everything was identical except this one, the landing page was different, and it went straight to my offer without collecting the email. I think it asked one question, and then it went right to the offer, so I could track this, and it went to the offer page, and then this one asked 2 questions, and then went to collect an email address. And I did. I collected 520 of them, and then they went to the offer, and then that's what made the $324. So you can see about 520 went, 510. So, with tracking and stuff, that's pretty darn close for tracking. And then 12 people bought what was on the other end there. And so it essentially cost 64 cents. I got paid 64 cents, and it cost me 55. Pretty cool, okay? The campaign in the bottom's the one that made all the money, and it had the email submit, and I was spending more. So it does way better with the email in there. Like I said, the psychology is probably once you're clicking on something, then people will want to go for it. And once they're active, they're going to go to the end of it. I guess that's what happens, but I find it to be the truth. All right, so here are earnings. This is the big one that really spells it out. I think this was like a 3-day period or something with this offer. So it brought in $891 with the traffic I was sending it. Conversion rate's kind of low, but it's a purchase deal. This thing is actually people get out their credit card and buy it, whatever the offer is here. And this is with no email capture. And this is with the email submit that I put in there. So this is with the page you think is going to screw up the stats and make less people continue because there's something in their way and they have to fill out something before they go to the offer. It's the opposite. This one, 89 visitors, 0 sales, 0 payout. Okay? And so I basically spent, I think it was like $60 or something on this during this period. And it was 0 sales. And I got no email capture. So that's like a lose, 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 lose. That sucks. This one with the email, I got the emails. Like I forget how many it was because it's probably, well, shoot, it's 1,504 probably. I got 1,500 emails and I made money. I made a profit and I collected 1,500 emails. Well, that's pretty cool. And I sold 33 of the things. And so it brought in $891. I forget how much exactly it cost me for the spend, but it was profitable. I made money while collecting these emails. Because when somebody visits the page, they're already going through my email. That's how I know that. So 1,504 people visited the offer, because these are the stats from the affiliate network that pays me. That means that at least 1,504 people got through my email submit, because they can't get to this page unless they go through the email submit on this campaign the way I set it up. I just put a ClickFunnels page in front of their offer and linked it to their offer. That's all I did. ClickFunnels page with two questions, and then asked for their email in the third. And then when they finished that, they went to the offer page. And then they clicked the offer page thing. So that is pretty good stats. So does that make sense to everybody? No email capture, no sales. It's a much smaller number, but I should have had 2 sales. If the conversion rate was the same, I should have had 2 sales, and I didn't have 2 sales. I should have made about $50-$60 on this, and I did not. And I left it long enough, and I'm still going to keep it. I still have it going at $10 a day just to see how long it's going to take me to get a sale. But as of the 7 days, I think, or 6 days, or 3 days, or whatever it was, I ran these stats, 0 sales. And by 89 visitors, I should have had 1 or 2 sales. So this shows that this is the way to go. All right. I'm going to show you. Here's in SendLane of the email subscribers, that little video. And I just booped it up. I was like, boop. So you can see where I was doing like 100 a day kind of email collect just to see, hey, this is when we're going to get 100. And I was like, let's scale it up and see what happens. And so that was as of yesterday or tonight so far. It has 543 email submits, and then it was like I already had like 80 or 90 from tonight because the difference in midnight is different. Like Facebook counts midnight at a different time than SendLane does. But this just shows you the difference here, and I just scaled right up. Now you do the math. Now 500, then I go to 1,000, whatever it is, or just even 500 a day times 30. Then you've got what 15,000 emails after the month. And now what are 15,000 emails? That's 15,000 emails in your email list is life-changing money, believe it or not, depending on what your lifestyle is. If you're making $3,500 a month right now, affiliate marketing or working somewhere else, and then you follow what I'm teaching you, that's a big difference in lifestyle change now all of a sudden. So that's probably worth maybe, I don't know, it's anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000. 15,000, maybe $20,000, depending on how you're marketing it and what you're doing, and how many times you can invite them to different lists and multiply. Even on the low end, it's say you make 15,000 and you're profitable getting it. Or let's just say you break even on the emails alone. Maybe you're making 6,000. That's on a low end. I'm not saying the numbers are going to happen for you. I'm just saying that the way I look at it is I have an average in my head, and I figure I'm going to probably make like 75 cents or something, or $1 ultimately over the lifetime of that person. So that's pretty cool. And if you keep it up, then that 15 turns into 30, and 30 turns into 45, and 45, and you'll see where it snowballs. And then all of a sudden, your 5,000 a month turns into 15,000 a month, turns into 25, 30,000 a month. And I don't want to get your hopes up too high or anything like that. Results will vary. But man, it's there, and it just happens, and all of a sudden you get a winning campaign. So this campaign is going to make me tens of thousands of dollars. I know it is. So, and I just started it, and I started just to show you guys a case study. So that's how this stuff happens, man. You just find winners, and you get a couple losers or something, but you test so small that you don't lose that much money, and the winners you just increase. So these test different sets. So look at a big difference makes with the ad lot makes. So I did a carousel, and then I did a regular just picture. And the carousel included 5 different pictures, and they recommended, Facebook said, for better returns, use our carousel feature. Now look at the numbers here. What it cost me $3.34 for every email submit using the carousel feature they asked me to use. And then on this day, for this campaign, it cost 69 cents per email submit. I just did little $10 budgets here, so they equaled. So it was 69 cents, and this was the learning was complete. It takes them like 50 or so submits to figure things out, like I've mentioned in other videos about who your audience is. So they were on the same level. It's just that this one just did terrible. It only had 9 email submits and versus 50 for this ad set that I did. And what I did is one was a carousel, and one was just a straight picture ad, no video, nothing, just a picture ad. And the carousel had 5 or 6 different pictures. And Facebook says it'll do better, but guess what? It didn't. Now here's the funny thing about that, and it's not always true, but when Facebook recommends something, it means nobody's using it. Usually, if it's a new feature, sometimes they do make it work because they want you to use the feature. But what I've found is eventually you'll get a rep when you do enough business with Facebook, and they're going to call you and give you tips. And they don't know much about email marketing or Facebook marketing for that matter, believe it or not, even though it's their job, but they haven't done it. And they kind of recite what their company tells them. And they'll be like, Dave, I think you should use carousel and you'll do a lot better with your ads. So Dave goes ahead, and I don't like to talk about myself in the first person, but I will here. Dave, use the carousel. All right, let's use the carousel. Let's use these pictures. Facebook says it's going to work. And then look what happens. Look how much more it costs. It didn't. So it's like Facebook pushes their features like specials at a restaurant. The old tip is never order the special because it's whatever's going bad that day. So they'll have like some fish on special. They got to throw that fish out that night. So you're getting this fish that's just about in the trash can. And that's why it's a special. They'll make the special soup because it's all the food that went bad, and they put it into the soup. So you never order the special at the restaurant because it's usually the food that's about to go bad. And I think that's what Facebook kind of does with what they recommend. They're like, well, nobody's using this feature, this awesome feature we made. So we're going to ask people to do it, recommend it in our software. Because when I was making the ad, they're like, hey, do the carousel. So I did it, and look how bad it was. Okay, so test different things, and you might be surprised of what works. The one simple picture worked better than the carousel. Sometimes on something else, a carousel worked better than the one picture. But you got to pay attention to that. So I kill this campaign, and I keep going with this one. Test different sets. Look at the big difference it makes. The carousel did not work for this. $3.34 per offer visit versus 69 cents. Woohoo! That's a big winner, right? All right, so let's recap on this. I know it was a long video, but it was super important. I was super excited to share this with you guys because it just shows a winner and how easy it is to go from a small one to a winner real quickly, okay? Recap. There are many ways to increase profit, but here's 3 main ways I like to recommend. Lower your costs somehow. You increase your ad spend and traffic and scale up and monetize what you already have further, okay? The best way I know how is to collect more emails. I always want more emails, so I like to have more traffic. The stats prove it. Not always, but most of the time they prove it. And putting the email in front can sometimes or most of the time help your conversions, believe it or not. I hope this is a good real-life example, sheds lights on all this for you. Happy hunting, and look out for, I might make a whole separate case study with this one for a separate alternative version of this, just to show a little more detail about this, because it's such an awesome case study. All right, guys, take care, and I'll talk to you.